The Phillies return to Citizens Bank Park for their second homestand of the season. The home team's pitching has seen its ups and downs through the first 13 games of the schedule, with the bullpen filing better results than the starters. The next attempt to improve is tonight, with one very dangerous fish in the way. Phillies will start this homestand with a little celebration. All fans coming to the ballpark tonight received the commemorative pin honoring the great Jackie Robinson. The Phils, of course, were on the road when baseball celebrated, so they'll do some celebrating of their own. Not only celebrating spring, the arrival of some young fans, they'll get set for Game 1 of this 3-game series against the Marlins. Now, this stretch of games against the National League East that we talked about last week, well, so far, not great for the Phils. Just 3 wins, 7 losses. Now they've got 3 against the Marlins, and then 3 this weekend against the Atlanta Braves. Hi, everybody. I'm Tom McCarthy, joined by Matt Stairs. Back from the road, the Phils get set for this 6-game homestand, and it begins tonight against the Miami Marlins. And like a lot of teams in the National League East this year, Matt, a lot of changes for the Miami Marlins coming into this season.
Well, they really have. You see some key players that lost with Reed Johnson, Garrett Jones last year going to New York. But for me right now, Dee Gordon has been the biggest surprise. Very surprised that he came from L.A. One, he's doing extremely well. He's getting on base. He's creating havoc to all the pitchers because he can steal bases. But if I had to pick one guy on that list, it's Michael Morris, who really has to step it up this year, because the reason why is he has to protect Stanton. We all know he has tremendous power, and if Michael Morris is not hitting well in the 4-hole, then they're going to start pitching around Stanton. So it's a key he gets off to a good start, because everyone knows his power, left field, right field, he hits the ball with authority, and you cannot make a mistake to him. Last year, now this is a gruesome injury, this is something we do not want to see happen to a player. It's really ugly. He takes a fastball in the face. It's going to be very interesting to see this year how he bounces back. We're in the cage. Fastball's up and in, the curveball to see if he starts buckling or not, but it's a really scary situation, and I'm glad he's doing well.
Well, and the Marlins went out and signed him to a 13-year deal worth $325 million without seeing him back at the plate after that injury.
Well, and that's a contract. It's a little risky contract. You know he has great talent, but really sign him to a big contract before you see him, how he's going to bounce back after being hit in the face. You know, he's the type of guy. He's a very good hitter. He has been buckled a few times this year. He's been a little nervous at times, especially with guys who are starting to throw fastballs inside. So it's going to be really interesting to see, one, if that face mask ever comes off during the season, but two, how he's going to react to fastballs inside.
All right, we'll see. Now, the Phillies, from a starting standpoint, will send Jerome Williams to the mound tonight. The pitchers so far, the starters through 13 games, not really what the Phillies had hoped for.
Well, and really, they haven't been able to throw first pitch strikes. When they do throw first pitch strikes, it's either right down the middle, it's getting crushed, or they're pitching from behind. You know, a lot of guys are having a hard time mixing in their secondary pitch as well, but they really have to pound the strike zone, throw first pitch strikes, allowed to throw the changeup, the curveball, whatever it is. But if I'm a pitching coach, which I'm not, but if I was, I'd be saying start throwing inside more often to hitters, because the hitters are starting to feel too comfortable, and when they're missing out over the plate.
And the other thing, too, for the starters, you saw it, just 5 2/3 on average so far this year, trying to get them a little deeper into the ball game. So it will be Jerome Williams. He'll be opposed by veteran right-hander Dan Herron, who actually has been the best starting pitcher for the Marlins so far in 2015. Well, as we mentioned, the Phillies coming home, enjoying a 6-game homestand, all the comforts of home. That's right, Jerome Williams will get it all started on Jackie Robinson night here in Philadelphia. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser, still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. By Citizens Bank, one deposit checking. Keeping things simple is helping you bank better. By Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. By Toyota, where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. And by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Learn more at ibx.com. against the Miami Marlins. Let's take a look at the Marlins starting lineup. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. D. Gordon leads it off at second, then Martin Prado and Stanton. Mike Morse bats cleanup. Marcelo Ozuna in center field bats fifth. Ichiro hits sixth. Real Muto, the catcher, will bat seventh. Echeverria, the shortstop, bats eighth. And batting ninth and pitching is Dan Herron. And they'll face Phillies right-hander Jerome Williams. Williams 0-1 with a 4.09 ERA. Matt, I think it's simple for Jerome. Get it down in the zone.
Well, get it down in the zone, and that fastball will start moving, and the changeup will move as well. So, good start. Fastball away. You can see the Budweiser scouting report. 88, 92 mile an hour fastball, change curve slider. I'm going to leave that last line out because it's not important tonight.
D. Gordon shows bunt and takes the bat head back, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The good news is it's only 13 innings, so it's only a couple starts against the Marlins. D. Gordon hitting .389, no homers, 9 runs batted in. And he slaps it the other way. It's 1-2. And with 2 strikes, it's worth noting that the Marlins have struck out 109 times already this year, which is most in the National League. Pulls it to the right side. Utley to his left has got it. And you always have to hurry when D. Gordon is running.
Well, Tom, time for the Nissan keys to the game. And today we have a complete group thinking of these. Don't get fishing early. All right, Dan Herrera, he likes to throw the curveball. Don't chase early and keep the Marlins reeling. That's Murph saying right there. You like that one right there, didn't you, Murph?
Whole fishing tempo there.
Well, it kind of says we're playing against the fish, so we want to go out there, and the fish are struggling a little bit. We want to keep them on the reel, I guess. Is that what you meant by it, Murph?
Yeah, you wanted to keep them reeling. I'm just trying to help you be creative like that, Matt.
Well, I appreciate it.
Here's Martin Prado, swing and a miss. It's 0-2. Now the big thing is whether you can top it tomorrow.
Who, Murph or me?
I guess the two of you. Prado hitting .277, a home run, 2 RBIs. Lays off a changeup. Did he go? No. Says the first base umpire, Toby Basner. There is Stanton in the on-deck circle. Outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Swing and a miss. He got him. First strikeout for Jerome Williams. So 2 outs here in the top of the first inning. Well, his ball is certainly moving, at least to these first 2 hitters.
No, it really is. He has late life on his cutter, but this right here is a tremendous changeup. Starts in the middle of the plate and just dips out of the way, and Parada swings over top of it.
So 2 away. Here's Giancarlo Stanton wearing that mask that Matt talked about during the open. Inside, 1 ball, no strikes. Stanton hitting .239, 2 home runs, 11 runs batted in. We've seen guys wear that kind of mask before, not that style. It's a different style than what we're normally used to. Change up inside, 2-1.
It'll be interesting to see if Stanton from last year to this year, if he made an adjustment with the stance. Is he standing off the plate a little farther? Is he opened up a little bit more?
Well, he hits that one off the end of the bat to right field. And he's aboard with a 2-out single. And he's still going to be a tough out, even though he came into this game struggling compared to past years. So he's aboard. Here's Michael Morse. Michael Morse was not in the National League East last year, but he was in the National League playing for the San Francisco Giants, where he helped them to a world championship. Last 12 games against the Phillies, he's hitting .442.
And Michael Morse is the key to this lineup, I believe, this year. The hotter he gets hitting wise, the more pitches that Stanton will start to see. Now, if Morris is struggling, why not walk Stanton and pitch to Mike Morris?
Yeah, Morris is 6 for 26 so far in this road trip, which includes the 4-game sweep at the hands of the Mets. Look at those numbers last dozen games. Oof. Whacks it foul, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
You know, there's a little difference. Last year they had Casey McGee, who never hit for a lot of power, but had a tremendous year batting average-wise. I mean, Michael Morris gets hot, and I've seen it because I played with him. He's as dangerous hitter as Stanton could be when he's swinging the bat well, of course.
Yeah, and for Mike Redmond, who you just saw, he'd like to have that veteran presence, even around a lot of these other younger guys like Yelich and Ozuna. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Morse. Marcell Ozuna waiting on deck. That one's pulled up the third base line. It's a foul ball. And Morse will come back. Fans are clapping, those that didn't realize that it did hook foul on the bounce. So Stan will go back to first. Swing and a miss. He got him to go fishing. And the side is retired. 2 strikeouts for Jerome Williams. He leaves 1 over at first. Phillies coming up for the first time when we return. Let's take a look at the Phillies starting lineup for tonight. It's brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Leading it off at center field, Odubel Herrera. Batting second is Ben Revere. Chase Utley is at second base, hitting third, followed by Carlos Ruiz and Cody Ashe. Ryan Howard's at first base. He'll bat sixth. In the bottom third, Sizemore, Galvis, and Jerome Williams facing veteran right-hander Darren Herron, who is 1-0 with an earned run average of 2.08. He originally didn't want to come to the Marlins, but he's getting paid $10 million, so he decided to show up, and he's off to a good start.
And he is, and he's the type of guy that he's going to throw strike after strike. He's very slow in his delivery, and you can see the Budweiser's got a report, 84 to 87 mile an hour fastball, cutter split curve. Very impressive. Third among active pitchers with 1.86 base on balls per 9 innings. So he's a strike thrower, but you have to be patient with him, because he has a pause in his delivery, and he throws his fastball and slider about 50% of the time each one.
Well, the first pitch to Odubel Herrera is taken outside. It's 1 ball, no strikes. How about the great start that Herrera's off to? 13 for 43. hitting .302. He's hit in his last 3 ball games. He's coming off a road trip in which he hit .345, had 6 extra base hits, and 5 runs scored. And that's why Ryan Sandberg has continued to bat him in the leadoff spot. That one's pulled foul.
I'm going to find it interesting to see how he makes out today facing Dan. Because Dan, he adds and subtracts so well. And he feeds off the hitters. If he sees how you're out in front of a certain pitch, he'll throw it even slower. So it's going to be interesting to see how his timing is versus Dan tonight.
Fouls it back, and it remains 1-2. Herron is 0-3 here at Citizens Bank Park. He was 0-1 at the Vet. He's made overall 5 starts in Philadelphia with an ERA of over 6.5. Well, there you go, adding and subtracting, and Herrera is struck out. And 1 gone here in the bottom of the first. That'll bring Ben Revere to the plate. Well, Murph, there's no question that these are 2 teams that have come into this ball game struggling somewhat.
Yeah, anyway you slice it, Tom. The Phillies coming off a very difficult road trip, 1-6. They just won the 1 game in Washington, but the Marlins didn't fare much better against the Mets. Take a look at the numbers offensively, just not there. In 4 games versus the Mets, they won none of them. 16 runs, 4 home runs. There's you see the average, but 40 strikeouts in that 4-game series. The Phillies just the 1 win against the Nats. They scored just 10 runs. He had 0 home runs, batting under 200 in that as well. 10 walks and 29 strikeouts. So both offenses are really struggling at this point, and both managers are hoping that they can get healthy on one another starting this series here in Philadelphia, guys.
Yeah, the Phillies overall in the 7 games, counting the games against the Mets, averaged 2.29 runs per game and scored just 16 runs. Inside, and it's 3-0 to Ben Revere.
I don't worry about a lot of hitters who don't strike out very much. But when you're striking out 40 times in 4 games, mechanically there's a problem with your swing. You're not seeing the ball well, pitch selection. Hey, Ben Revere just walked.
Number 2.
Oh, boy. But that's where you got to start making adjustments. And, if you continue swinging and over-swinging and swinging and missing, there's got to be a little hitch in your giddy-up. You got to change your stance a little bit or make an adjustment.
Oh, Ben Revere's at first. That'll bring Chase Utley to the plate. Utley hitting just .116 so far this year. He's 0 for his last 18. And has, over the course of his career, gone through ruts like this. It's not often that he goes through a rut like this early in a season. He takes inside, 1 ball, no strikes. And you take a look at the longest offers for his career, 24 back in 2008. Obviously, that season ended well. So the Phillies hope that this one will end well. He takes a strike. It's 1 ball, 1 strike. Chase has 29 career home runs against the Marlins. One ball, 1 strike. Revere goes. Pitch is taken for a strike. The throw to second is offline. As Revere swipes his 4th stolen base of the year. Echeverria thought maybe he had tagged him on the foot as he slid in. Real Muto doing the catching tonight.
Well, Ben he gets a great jump right there. That's a pretty good sell. Thinking that you might have tagged his foot, but no.
Well, Mike Morse is walking over to chat with Dan Herron. Mike Redmond asked for a little bit of time from his players. Now he just waved them off and said, all right, go back to doing what you were doing. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Chase.
Well, wouldn't you just think about asking your shortstop, did you really tag him or not?
Because he did try to sell it for a little bit. Yeah. See if the Phillies can get the early lead here. They've only led first 3 times this year. And Utley pops it foul out of play. The Lucky McDonald's Phillies home run jackpot contestant is Kim Bishop of Sicklerville, New Jersey. Phillies hit a home run in today's ballgame. Matt, $600. Let's hope we give out $600 on behalf of McDonald's. Inside, 2-2. Chase's numbers with runners in scoring position have mirrored the lack of success the Phillies' overall offense has had with runners in scoring position. Two balls, 2 strikes, and now time is called. And Aaron will have a visit to the mound with Real Muto. The Jackie Robinson statue is out in the outfield as the Phillies commemorate the anniversary of Jackie Robinson breaking the color barrier right near HK's statue. Two balls, 2 strikes. And Utley takes a call, strike 3. Second strikeout for Herron. Ball hung up there pretty good, too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Chase was looking for something different. It's a little backdoor cutter and freezes Chase. It's one of those pitches that you have to stay on. You know he throws a lot of fastballs and sliders and cutters. Fastball's a way you cannot give up on because his ball does move a lot and cuts back.
Here's Carlos, and Carlos takes a pitch for a strike, and it's 0-1. It is remarkable taking a look at the Phillies lineup. They have not used the same lineup more than 2 games this year. I mean, this is game number 14, so maybe it's not out of the ordinary. But they have tried to mix and match, particularly the middle of the order. Well, heck, not even middle of the order, the top of the order, too. To try to find some semblance of offense. 1 ball, 1 strike. And Ruiz lifts it in the air to left field. Ichiro floats back and is under it. And Herron's going to work out of the stolen base by Revere. Get a couple strikeouts and a fly out. We've completed 1. On to the second. That guy will bat second when we come back. birthday, brought to you by Citizens Bank. All fans 14 and under will receive the Fanatic baseball socks. Phillies and the Braves, a 3-game set. Tickets can be purchased anytime by going to Phillies.com. Taking a look from inside, Harry the K's out in left field. We begin the top of the second. Marcell Ozuna will be the batter. Another one of the resident Philly killers. Ozuna was scheduled about 6th tonight, but about a half hour before the start of the ball game, the Marlins announced that Christian Yelich had a bad back again. So they scratched him, moved Ozuna from 6 to 5, and put Ichiro in the starting lineup. 2-1 to Ozuna. Ozuna was 2 for 18 against the Mets. He struck out 8 times in this series. Boy, they are striking out a lot. That's 3 strikeouts for Jerome Williams. And 1 away here in the second.
Well, just think what kind of numbers he had coming into this series at 263. 2 for 18, as you see. A very nice backdoor sinker. Cheech wants the fastball away, and Ozuna knew it.
3 strikeouts already. Ozuna chatting with Stanton, a couple of teammates in the dugout. Well, here's Ichiro hitting .217. This is the first time Ichiro has played at Citizens Bank Park. He has played at the Vet, or he had played at the Vet. He actually has a little bit of a hitting streak going against the Phillies. This man has 2,849 hits in the United States, but that's only part of the story. Slaps that one the other way, right at Ben Revere, who makes the catch. 2 outs.
$2,840.
2,849.
49. Sorry.
Then you combine his numbers over in Japan. I don't know if he'll get to 3,000 here in the States. You know, the way Ben talks, Ben knows him pretty well. As that one's chopped to third, is that he wants to play until he's 50. And Ashe just barely throws out Real Muto. A nice strong throw. Side is retired in order. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Marlins and the Phillies still scoreless. Talking about how the NFL schedule may affect the Eagles' success. Breakfast on Broad, presented by Virtua Joint Replacement Institute. We weekday mornings from 6 until 8 over on the Comcast Network. Bottom of the second inning here at Citizens Bank Park. Nice night for a ball game. And Cody Ashley will lead it off. Ashley hitting .350 with a home run and 2 RBIs. Cody was 8 for 26 on the road trip. And he tries to bunt his, he's going to get that down one of these times. I mean, every team is now playing him a little differently. It's not a drastic overshift for the Marlins, but they are playing him to pull. Some teams have played with 3 infielders on the right side against him.
And when he figures out that he doesn't have to be perfect with the bunt, he can square around early and just get it within 10 feet of the line.
0-2. Dan Herron's won 143 games during his career. The Marlins are hoping that he can work deep into this ball game, because like the Phillies, their starters have not been going deep into the games. In fact, other than Herron, the other starting pitchers for the Marlins have produced just 3 6-inning starts so far this year.
Wow.
Yeah. So the bullpen has thrown more innings, 47 2/3, more innings than anybody else. Chopper up the first base line. That'll stay fair. And Morse decides to do a little extra calisthenics by tagging the bag instead of stepping on it. And there's one out here in the second. That'll bring Ryan Howard to the plate. Most at bats with a home run for Ryan Howard. Now, the 2005 is obviously when he didn't start the year with the ball club. So we are at the longest drought to start a year without a home run. So the man is due, Matt Stairs.
That he is.
One ball, no strikes to Howard. Does have Herron in his book a couple times. He's hit 2 home runs against him. Green light, 3-0.
No.
There was a time where he would get the green light every time it was 3-0.
Yes, it was.
Lays off, ball 4. Second walk issued by Herron. The Phillies have had 2 base runners so far tonight. And that'll bring Grady Sizemore to the plate.
There was a time when he didn't have to look down there. Now Pete's down there giving the big whistle, pointing towards the dugout, which means do not swing.
I would think he's probably getting used to that now more and more.
Just don't look down there.
I didn't hear it. I heard somebody whistle. I thought they were whistling at me for support.
So you felt hitterish at that bat. You were going to go up there and let it fly.
Well, Grady Sizemore has the 11 career hits against Herron, and he takes the first pitch on the inside corner. It's 0-1. Look out. Look out. Wow. Oh and 2. I do believe everybody's okay. Man, did that ball come in there hot.
We have seen a few of those the last 3 or 4 games in baseball.
It was so in Washington the other day. I'm sure everybody has seen the one in Pittsburgh last night, which I hadn't seen until today.
That was unbelievable.
Man, the young lady was basically hit through the net. The net retracted and hit her right in the head. And a called strike 3. 3 strikeouts for Herron. It's like a tough pitch.
Well, it was supposed to be a fastball away. He just kind of pulls the fastball a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
That's middle of the plate.
Just missed his spot.
Yeah, just missed the spot. I mean, you can see right here, right at the knees, right down the middle.
Dana Dubuque is the home plate umpire. He's the crew chief. A couple of younger guys, Toby Basner, Chris Conroy, joining Paul Nart. Galvis takes outside. It's 1 ball and no strikes. Boy, he is throwing the entire kitchen sink at the Phillies hitters.
He'll throw his fastball, slider, split, curve, cutter.
That one is pulled down the right field line. Doesn't have enough. It is gone! A bullet right out of the ballpark off the bat of Freddie Galvis. And the Phillies take a 2-0 lead. First home run of the season for Freddie Galvis. And yes, we have given out $600 as part of the McDonald's home run jackpot.
McDonald's is giving out $600.
Happy day.
Yes, it is.
Congratulations to Kim Bishop of Sicklerville, who is the recipient of the $600. That ball rocketed out of here. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jerome Williams. It's only the second home run the Phillies have had this year. There wasn't a solo home run.
Good timing.
Williams taps it. It's 1-2.
Well, and he hit it the perfect place, too. I mean, if it's a little farther towards right center, more likely it's off the wall, but the ball was well struck and it was crushed.
And a foul tip hung on to. 4 strikeouts for Dan Herron. However, the Phillies strike first. Freddie Galvis with his first home run of the season. This one went out of here in a millisecond. Just wondered if it was high enough. It certainly was. Dan Herron thought it was gone as soon as it left the bat. Phillies take a 2-0 lead as we go the top of the 3rd here at Citizens Bank Park. Go to the fans section for all the information. Please submit your answer on the subject line. All right, Matt, the question is, what team in Japan did Ichiro play for before joining the Mariners in 2001? Answer will be revealed later on in the game. I think you mentioned the name of this team earlier this year. I think you did. I don't think it was Ben. I think it was you. Dig deep, Matt. Dig deep. Echeverria leads it off and takes inside 1-0. You know, Jamie's here. You can call a friend. He did play with on the same team as Ichiro. 1-0 pitch to Echeverria. That one's lifted down the right field line. Slicing toward foul territory. Playable. And Sizemore puts it away. 1 out.
Did you say it was mentioned earlier today by me?
No, earlier this year by you. Because you are a veteran of the Japanese Professional Baseball League. And you know the history of that league better than anybody in this booth. No offense, Carl or Pete. I'm just assuming that he knows more information about the Japanese professional leagues. Here's Dan Herron, 0 for 5 so far this year. 1 ball and no strikes. That one's out toward left center field. It's not deep. Revere comes sprinting in and makes the catch as he falls to the ground. 2 outs. Well, the Phillies Festival is coming on Monday, June 1st. It begins at 4:30. It benefits the ALS Association Greater Philadelphia chapter. Annual event includes autograph booths from the 2015 Phillies players. Mike Schmidt will be here for a photo booth. There'll be grab bags, opportunity to throw in the bullpen. Tickets go on sale April 22nd at 9 a.m. That's tomorrow. By going to Phillies.com or calling 215-463-1000. Again, tickets go on sale tomorrow at 9 a.m. Always a great night here at the ballpark. And it's raised a lot of funds over the years. In fact, Cody Ashley is going to help. He and his wife are going to help raise money to fight ALS with a great new venture. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Check out Phillies.com for all the information on that, on the shirt that Cody and his wife have put together. And the proceeds will go to help battle ALS. Broken bat roller. Dalvis has to hurry behind the bag. Fires to first. Not in time. And Ryan Howard thinks that they got him. It's scored a base hit right now. Ryan Sandberg is coming up to the top step. And Ryan Howard's just going to stroll around a little bit. Howard is not usually that emphatic. And he's pretty emphatic that they got him.
See right here, this big stretch.
Oh, they got him.
I believe they did.
Yeah, I think they did get him. It's really close.
See the foot's coming down right. Now. Oof.
That's close. It's close because the heel did get on the front of the bag. They are not going to challenge it. Take a look again.
I think if you see where the ball is, you see the heel. Well, I don't know.
I can't tell if the heel's on the bag or not. It looks like the heel's on the bag. Toby Bassner waited a moment. Oh, that's a coin flip right there. I don't know if they would have overturned it if they would have reviewed it. So now you got to keep an eye on D. Gordon, who stole 64 bags last year, which led the National League, and has already stolen 6 this year. Good move by Jerome Williams. A little different move.
That's what you have to do. You have to change your time of count towards home. Hold them a little longer. Quick pitch them.
Well, they pitch out on the first pitch. A couple of schools of thought there. You don't want to fall behind a contact hitter like Martin Prado. But I think the Phillies felt like Gordon was going to try to get into scoring position right away.
Well, and the one thing too with the first pitch out, I don't mind it, but not when it's a slide step. Do a regular delivery That way he thinks you're going to make an ordinary pitch to home. You do a pitch out, but when you slide step, base stealers automatically shut it down. Well, most of us did.
A little inside knowledge right there, man. Cutter, and it's 1-1. That's inside knowledge that only a base runner would know, like a fleet-footed base runner would know.
And this is a great time to hold for a while. So the longer you hold, he's going to get antsy. He's going to start jabbing a little bit. He wants to go. And then all of a sudden, Parada wants to call a timeout. So now two guys are thinking. And ball players in trouble when they start thinking. Got him.
Oh, they got him. What a move by Jerome Williams. He froze him in the base path, and no argument at all from D. Gordon. So he gets the infield hit, but then he's picked off first to finish up the third inning. They almost had him a couple of throws ago. The quick feed of Jerome Williams and the tag by Ryan Howard. He never really got to the bag. Phillies maintain this 2-0 lead. Call 1-800-JEP now or visit jefferson.edu and buy the Quality Plus Ford stores. Go further. Back here in Philadelphia, the Phils lead the Marlins 2-0. Mike Redmond just watched his leadoff hitter, D. Gordon, get picked off first. Well, the Mystics are here, Matt. Enjoying a night at the ballpark.
Welcome.
Odubel Herrera takes upstairs. 1 ball, no strikes. Odubel struck out his first time up. As the home plate umpire for some time before he digs in. And that one's fouled back. It's 1-1. Dan Herron has played now for 8 different teams. See D. Gordon, who went right back to his position without an argument after being picked off. 8 different teams. He's won 12 games or more 9 times in his career. Popped up, shallow left field. Ichiro is there. And 1 out. 2005 to 2011, he won 101 games. Since then, he's kind of tricked people. He's kind of a 500 pitcher, although last year he was 13-11 with the Dodgers with an earned run average of 4.02. He has 10 straight years, Matt, of 10 wins or more. Revere takes a strike at a breaking ball. It's 0-1.
Plus, he throws a lot of innings.
He got him out front. Fly ball shallow center field. I don't think it was going to. No, I didn't think he saw it right away. I'll tell you, it's a tough sky. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Budweiser. Budweiser is still brewed the hard way. This Bud's for you. To the current conditions, temperatures in the mid-60s. Little light breeze. Utley struck out looking his first time up, and he's 0 for 1.
Catcher just threw down 5 different signs.
But he couldn't decide on any of them. Drops in for a strike, so back-to-back breaking balls, and it's 1 ball and 1 strike. It is so obscure to see 114 next to Chase Utley's name.
It really is. It's shocking, especially as well as he swung the bat in spring training. Towards the end, got very hot. Now, he's actually swung the bat half decent. This year he has lined out a lot, but he's really getting beat on outside pitches. That's what he's having a hard time with right now.
On the outside corner, and Utley is struck out for the second time. Looking 5 strikeouts for Herron. Phillies go down in order, and we'll head to the 4th inning with the Phils up 2-0. Pro-X clocks in at 70 pages per minute. Get yours today for up to 50% off from who? But W.B. Mason. Well, Dan Herron has allowed the 2-run home run tonight, but he also has been able to strike out 5 through the first 3 innings. We'll go to the top of the 4th inning. It'll be Prado, Stanton, and Mike Morse against Jerome Williams. Phillies lead 2-0 thanks to Freddie Galvis' home run. Fly ball left center field. Herrera has got a beat on it. And 1 quick out. Well, here's Giancarlo Stanton, and we showed this during the Open tonight. This was against the Milwaukee Brewers last season. A horrific pitch that came up and hit him right on the cheek. And Stanton was done for the year at this point. There was some question as to whether he would come back, but you can see the blood dripping from his face as he went down to the ground. Now, we talked about the fact he's wearing that special mask, the protective guard. Murph, I'm sure it's something that it's taken some time to get used to. He's had a couple of at-bats where he hasn't used it, but for the most part, he's all in with this mask, at least at this point.
Yeah, and why not? After you watch that video, you can certainly understand why Giancarlo Stanton would really probably not want to get back in the batter's box without it. As you mentioned, Tom, he has gone one at bat this year without it, late in the game against the left-hander. But for the most part, he has worn it. And he also helped develop the mask. He went up to New York and helped design the mask. It is a carbon fiber mask. And if you take a look closely, you can see it's got a G design on it as well. He threw that in as a little bit of an added thing for just himself. But it is supposed to be able to withstand a 100-mile-per-hour fastball, and that's exactly what he is going to need. You know, certainly getting over the mental side of things for Giancarlo Stanton would be difficult, but you certainly don't want any physical damage to that jawbone again and to that cheekbone again. So the mask that he helped design is what he'll wear the rest of the season. It will be interesting to see what he does tomorrow against Cole Hamels, a left-hander, because he hasn't faced a whole lot of left-handers so far this year, so he may or may not wear it. We'll have to wait until tomorrow to see.
Yeah, and the mask design does look like a football face mask, as everybody can gauge. And Murph talked about the G logo that's sort of in there. He hits this one out towards center field. There is no chance it's coming back. It is gone into the Marlins bullpen. Man, did he crush that one. His third home run of the year, and it's a 2-1 ball game. Number 157 for his career. He's the all-time leader in home runs for the Marlins.
You don't see many baseballs go up in this area. You see a hanging slider, cutter, full extension. We talked about in the open how strong he is and how far he hits the baseball. Visiting bullpen.
There are not many baseballs that go that far. Here's Mike Morse, who struck out his first time up. And he takes a fastball. It's 0-1. Anyway, to finish up the story about that mask, Giancarlo Stanton was a highly touted football recruit. So that mask is similar to the face mask that he would use when he played football. So that's why he felt like he could see a little bit more with that style and that protection. I think he saw it pretty well right there.
Yeah.
0-2 pitch to Morse. Another foul ball. Swing and a miss. He got him with a breaking pitch. Man, did he slow that one up. 2 outs. Well, it's time to take a look at our T-Mobile game changer. We talk about Giancarlo Stanton's home runs and the active leaders, the at-bats per home run. Howard is atop that leaderboard, a home run every 14.8 at-bats. And Giancarlo Stanton is right behind him. And at this rate may catch him and pass him.
Oh, Chris Carter from Houston, 16.2.
That man has hit 2 home runs this year. I mean, they're like the ones Stanton just hit. Ozuna off the hands out towards second. Caught by Chase Utley. And the side is retired. Well, Utley was able to gauge that one perfectly. And as he went up, it started coming down right into his glove. But he pulled it right out of the air. The Marlins do score a run on the home run by Stanton. But Utley makes sure there are no more base runners. your local dealer at ChevyDealer.com. By WB Mason. You can't go wrong when you buy right. And by your Delaware Valley Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Delaware Valley Honda dealer or visit DelValHondaDealers.com today. Oh, nice night here in Philadelphia. Phils and the Marlins. Game 1 of a 3-game series. Everybody's excited to be here tonight. Carlos Ruiz takes the first pitch up high. 1 ball, no strikes. Carlos flied to left his first time up. Tried to check. Did he go? Yes.
Actually looked like a pretty good pitch. 83-mile-an-hour cutter. Herron just does not throw a four-seamer.
That one's pulled foul. And it's 3-2. Now, he used to throw a four-seamer, didn't he?
Not very often. I mean, he'd mix it in once in a while. I mean, Doc Holliday, he never threw four-seamers later in his career as well. He wanted to get that movement with the cutter or the sinker.
Carlos takes outside, ball 4. Third walk issued by Herron. And that'll bring Cody Ashe to the plate. Well, tomorrow the Phils and the Marlins get together again. Citizens Bank Red Goes Green night. All fans coming to the ballpark receive the MLB Network reusable tote. Tickets can be purchased for tomorrow's game and Thursday afternoon's ball game by heading to Phillies.com. Cody Ashe grounded to first. His first time up. It's well documented that Herron did not want to accept the trade to the Marlins during the offseason. He and D. Gordon both coming from the Dodgers to the Marlins. He had let the Dodgers know that he wanted to stay in Southern California. Wouldn't have minded going to San Diego. Would not have minded going back to Anaheim. Dan Jennings, who's the GM, you see right there with the sunglasses on his head. Up and away, 2-2. Herron wasn't sure if the Marlins really wanted him. Dan Jennings said, yeah, we want that veteran presence in our rotation. Kind of a young rotation for Mike Redmond and for Chuck Hernandez, who's sitting down there with his arms crossed. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And a breaking ball. And Ashe's down looking, 6 strikeouts.
4 looking.
Remarkable.
It is. And this is what happens when you give up on the backdoor cutter or a fastball, like I said earlier. You always have to stay with the pitch. Easier said than done. Been there many, many times, but when the guy doesn't overpower you, you can almost look outside and react to him.
Ryan Howard walked and scored next to the home run by Galvis. And he takes on the outside corner. When the trade occurred, Herron said, I've been traded a bunch, which, as we mentioned, this is his 8th different team. But this one caught me off guard. And he thinks now, if he had made a decision, as Howard went around that night, to retire, if he made a decision it was going to be to retire. He said thankfully he was in shock, so he waited 24 hours before deciding what he wanted to do. 0-2 pitch to Howard, and he lays off 1-2.
So he's enjoying the trade now, or he is
accepting,
okay with it.
Yeah, I think his thought is, all right, I'm getting paid $10 million, which is pretty good. We can all admit that, right?
Oh yeah.
And then maybe make a decision at the end of this year. 1-2 to Ryan Howard. And Howard pulls it into right field, a base hit. Only the second hit for the Phils. Ruiz stops at second. So 2 on for Grady Sizemore. Phillies fans, next time you're looking for great seats, get to StubHub, where there are no surprise fees at checkout. That's right. On StubHub, the price you see is the price you pay. StubHub, the official fan-to-fan ticket marketplace of Phillies.com. So Grady Sizemore, who struck out looking his first time up, has a chance to add to the Phils' lead. They lead it 2-1. And a little out in front, he pulls that foul. It's 0-1. Boy, he really works the corners to these hitters. It just goes far enough away. Ball spinning right up there, and Sizemore just a tad out front.
Changeup.
1-2 strikes. What do you think of those seats, Matt?
Pretty good. I'd enjoy them.
So to Major League Scoreboard, the Cardinals are in Washington to take on the Nationals, and the Nats lead at 1-0. Ian Desmond has a double and a run scored. He certainly hit the Phillies this past weekend.
Him and Ryan Zimmerman.
That one shot the other way. Could be 2. There's 1, and the throw is high, so Sizemore is safe at first. And Ruiz goes to third. Fielder's choice keeps the inning alive.
Taylor made double play. There's a good feed. Comes across. Gordon just kind of rushes the throw a little bit. Get underneath it and sailed away.
Marlins have really bragged about, and rightfully so, that their infield has made just 1 error. It was D. Gordon who has the 1 error. That doesn't go down as an error, but it's a missed opportunity to get back into the dugout. It also gives the Phils a chance. Freddie Galvis, who had a 2-run home run his first time up, is up with runners on the corners. Galvis lays off. Here is the home run.
Back in the second inning, fastball inside. Nice short swing. Ball came back over the middle of the plate. Aaron knew as soon as he hit it. 2-run homer.
Freddie has at least 1 RBI now in 5 straight games. Spun himself out of that one. It's 1-2. Out toward left field, and it's right at Ichiro. So the Phils get a couple of base runners, but unable to cross the plate. We've played our first 4 innings here in Philadelphia. Phils hanging on to a 1-run lead over the Marlins. answer. All right, Matt, here we go. What team in Japan did Ichiro play for before joining the Mariners in 2001?
The Oryx Blue Waves.
The Oryx Blue Wave is correct. From the Japan Pacific League, 92 to 2001. Congratulations. Log back on to Phillies.com to find out if you're a winner of the Phillies prize pack. Our expert in Japanese baseball has come through. Ichiro takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Well, Dan Herron, we said he's throwing the kitchen sink at the Phillies. He truly is. He's given up the 2-run home run and then 1 other hit. That's it. But the Phils have the lead. And Ichiro slaps one the other way, a base hit. 2,850 hits now for Suzuki. Can't believe Ben didn't come over to say hello to his former teammate.
I would imagine he'll stop in next couple of days.
You think so? Would only be right.
Moyer's here, so you figure
yeah,
it's like a reunion.
Ichiro has stolen 487 bases during his major league career coming into this season. And over in Japan, he stole 199. Just a bit low, 1 ball, no strikes. And a line drive base hit into center field. Ichiro will stop at second. And that'll put runners on first and second with nobody out. And now Echeverria will bat. It was remarkable. He has over 4,000 hits. Ichiro does. He's remarkable.
Unbelievable. How many knocks did he have in Japan?
He had 1,800. Right around that total. Echeverria takes a breaking ball. 1 ball and no strikes. I should say around 1,300. He had 1,278, so nearly 1,300. It has been an incredible career that will result in him getting to Cooperstown one day. 1 ball, 1 strike to Echeverria. He fly to right his first time up. And he lines that one into left center field, a base hit. Ichiro's around third. He's going to score. And we're tied up at 2 and still nobody out here in the top of the 5th inning. So an RBI single for Echeverria. It's his 7th RBI of the year, and Herron will come up and try to sacrifice the runners up.
Well, you can see the location. Pitches up in the zone. And the last 3 hitters that Williams has faced, he's missed the zone, he's been up in the zone, and 3 straight knocks. So it showed how important it was early in the game. He was down the zone with his changeup, his cutter, having the guys out in front. Now he's just getting up in the zone.
So Bob McClure out to the mound to talk to Jerome Williams with Dan Herron due up. Herron went down to talk to Brett Butler, who came down for the third base coach's box. One of the best bunters the game has ever seen. Just reminded the pitcher that he's going to bunt here. At least I think he is.
Yeah, and he's reminding them that first and second bunt defense, you want to lay the bunt down towards third base. You want Cody Ashley coming in and having only 1 play at first base. I would love to see an aggressive play right here where Freddie Galvis takes off to third and try to get the lead runner.
Herron does bunt right in front of the plate. Ruiz has a play at third, gets him there. Can they get Herron? Yeah, they do. 2-5-4 on the double play. Boy, that's a big one. 2 outs here in the 5th. Carlos was doing everything he could to get Herron out of the way.
Or I'd just like to see this instead. A bad bunt over front. You see how quick Chooch comes out. No hesitation. Makes a strong throw. And Cody realizing he still has an opportunity to throw out the Herron at first base. And the fans are streaming happy as well.
Well, that was aggressive from a Phillies standpoint. Thriving off the bad bunt, as you mentioned. And now D. Gordon is up with a runner at second base. Gordon is 1 for 2. An infield hit his last time up. Takes outside, 1 ball, no strikes. Echeverria leads off second. Ashe on the run and can't get there. Oh, good effort just out of his reach, and it's 1-1.
You don't see those type of bunt plays anymore where the third baseman comes in behind the base runner at second and break towards third base. Basically now they just use 1 and 2. The spin move to second or this regular bunt play.
Over to the right side, off the glove of Howard, over the head of Utley, and a run will score. And it's a 3-2 ball game. That is the first error of the year for Ryan Howard. No RBI. I don't know if he peaked or if it just took a bad hop.
You see he's set. It did come up on him. He kind of played it to his right a little bit. Playing first base, we kind of want to block and shovel. You block it and shovel it to the pitcher, covering first.
And the ball was hit sharp enough that he had time to do all that. Well, now Martin Prado. It's a shame because it looked like Williams was going to get out of this inning by allowing just the 1 run. They picked D. Gordon off his last time he was at first. Outside, 1 ball, no strikes.
I'm not even sure if Ryan knocks the ball down. D. Gordon probably goes to first base, but now at least it's still first and third.
Yeah, I thought because it was hit so hard that he had time.
Right.
But in reality, if he had gotten in front of it, he probably wouldn't have even had to knock it down. I will say that the infields in New York and Washington were way slower than the infield here.
Yes.
I mean, that grass in both those places really slowed the baseball down. Runner goes, pitch is taken for a strike, throw to second base is not in time. And Gordon has stolen his 7th bag of the year. Carlos did everything he could.
Well, this is a lot closer than I thought because Gordon has a tremendous jump and Ruiz comes up and fires a strike to second base. Honestly, I thought that was not even going to be close. As you can see, he slid by the bag and kept his hand on. Tremendous jump, though.
In the dirt, and Carlos keeps it in front, 3-1.
Toronto's definitely the guy you want right now. To make a quality 3-1 fastball pitch away. Because the last thing you want to do is have first and second with Mr. Stanton coming up next.
Amen. Inside, ball 4. So Mr. Stanton will come up next as there are runners on first and second with 2 men down. Well, the last time Stanton was up.
Well, 4th inning, he gets a little slider up in the zone and does what he does very well when he hits home runs. Long ones.
Well, he made it look little.
Yes. You know you hit a ball far when your center fielder knows he can't get to it and just jogs and watches.
Got it over the inside part of the plate, 2-1. Got Stanton to raise his arms up a little bit there. Gentleman in the suite level reached out to try to grab that. It might be better suited to just let it hit a seat.
Yeah.
Hits the ball so far, those folks better be on their toes. Traded some baseball cards. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Stanton. Swing and a miss. He got him. And Stanton is struck out, and the side is retired. But 2 runs score, 1 earned, 1 unearned. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. The Phils playing from behind. They trail at 3-2. The New York Mets. It's the final day of a 3-game series. It's StubHub Mother's Appreciation Day. Phillies wristlet free to women 15 and older. Tickets can be purchased by going to Phillies.com. All right, so the Phillies trail at 3-2. They took a 2-0 lead on the home run by Freddie Galvis, but 3 unanswered runs now by the Marlins. We'll go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Jerome Williams will lead it off against Dan Herron. And he delivers high, 1 ball and no strikes. One ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss, and Williams has struck out. 7 strikeouts for Herron. We'll go back to the top of the order for Odubel Herrera.
Coming into today's game, the scouting report on him with 2015 pitch usage was fastball 43%, slider 43%, split and curveball at 6 and 7%. I think he just rewrote his numbers because he has thrown everything whenever he wants.
Yeah, and right around the plate too, Matt. There's nothing that, I mean, that's probably the widest pitch that he'll throw.
Right.
And sometimes hitters, if they're 2 strikes, they might go after that kind of.
Well, you have to. You have a veteran on the mound who knows how to pitch, and he knows how far he can go outside to get calls.
That one's popped up left side of the infield, and Echeverria is there. And there are 2 outs. And here's Ben Revere, who is 0 for 1 with a walk. Shows bunt, takes low, 1 ball, no strikes. And a liner out towards center field, right at Ozuna. And a 1-2-3 5th inning for Dan Herron. He's retired the Phils in order on 2 occasions. The 3rd inning and now the 5th inning. We'll go to the 6th there in Philadelphia. The Phils trail it by 1. Drafted into an everyday starting position for the Phillies. The 23-year-old rookie from Venezuela has made good during his short time in the majors. The first 2 weeks have led to 7 extra base hits, 3 stolen bases, and a walk-off memory while connecting on his first major league hit, an RBI. Odubel's start has been a good one, and it's brought to you by Independence Blue Cross. Live fearless. Well, Odubel's start has been very good tonight, although he's been held, or this year, but he's been held in check tonight like a lot of other guys by Dan Herron, the right-hander for the Miami Marlins. So he'll go back to work in center field, and Michael Morse will lead it off for the Marlins against Jerome Williams here at the top of the 6th inning. Towering fly ball foul. Remember those folks that were looking at the baseball cards? And it's no balls and 1 strike. Breaking ball, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Had a long conversation with Michael Morris today, ex-teammate, one of my favorite teammates. He's just funny.
Washington.
Yep, Washington.
Well, he pulls that one into left field. Revere cuts it off and is going to hold him to a single. And that'll bring Marcell Ozuna to the plate. Well, a reminder today, the Phillies were honoring the late, great Jackie Robinson. And the 1947 Phillies obviously were part of his rookie season, as was Lee Hanley, who played 1 year with the Phillies. Hanley was also a member of the Pittsburgh Pirates, but that 1 year was in 1947. That's his grandson, Michael, who was here today. Here's Marcell Ozuna, who's 0 for 2. He is struck out and lined out. The first pitch at the knees. It's 0-1. Ozuna's 0 for 2. He struck out in the second inning. Pretty close pitch. 1 ball, 1 strike. Awfully close to that first one. Williams has done a pretty good job of keeping them kind of off balance at times tonight. I mean, he had the problems in the fifth inning, but he's really been pitching kind of backwards in this ball game too. Well,
he has. He's had good control of his changeup, which I'd like tonight. His cutter's breaking very late, and when he's missing, he's usually missing down in the zone.
Got him again. Back-to-back pitches, the same one. And that's 6 strikeouts for Williams. Also on the field as part of the tribute before the ball game were members of the Tuskegee Airmen. And also Malin Duckett, who's to the left in the wheelchair. Members of the Tuskegee Airmen who were here today. James Cotton, Milton Holmes, George Watson Sr., John Pritchett, Bert Levy, Dr. Eugene Richardson, Cornelius Gaither, and Ted Ramsey. And there's Ryan Howard and Ben Revere posing for a photo before the start of the ball game. Ichiro, check swing, foul ball. It's 0-1. And all fans coming to the ballpark tonight received the commemorative pin, the Jackie Robinson commemorative pin. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike. Another one to left field. Man. Second time tonight that Ichiro has poked one into left. And that puts runners on first and second with 1 out here in the 6th.
Well, it never fails whenever one of your teammates cannot play that night and it's a late change. All right, so like tonight, Ichiro was a late put in. It seems like you always have a good night. Why that is, I have no idea. I don't know if you're nice and relaxed.
Yeah, you're not thinking about it, probably.
There you go, Tom. The hitters are not thinking.
Baseball players can't think, Matt. They won't be successful. So 2 on, and here's Real Muto, who lined a single his last time up. He's pretty much, I don't even know if you can say he's sharing the duties with Jared Saltalamacchia. He is getting more of the catching duties.
Yeah, Saltalamacchia has been struggling, and it's kind of getting into his head every time he steps up in the batter's box. Having bad at-bats.
Popped him up. Ryan Howard. Foul territory. Infield fly rule is called. Catch is made. 2 outs. It was like a hot potato. Ryan got rid of it pretty quickly. And Adeiny Echeverria will be the batter. Michael Morse at second base, and Ichiro at first. To Major League scoreboard. The Mets are shutting out the Braves 4-0. That game's in the top of the 6th inning. Curtis Granderson has a couple RBIs. Mets lost Travis d'Arnaud the other day. He broke a bone in his hand. Echeverria takes a strike, 2-1. They lost Jerry Blevins, who broke a bone in his forearm. Of course, they lost David Wright when the Phillies were up in New York. But they lead it 4-0 in the 6th against the Braves. Curveball. Boy, oh boy, he was swinging for the upper deck in left field.
He was. You got the big curveball coming in at 72. Didn't miss it by much. Swung over top of it, but don't double up.
You don't want another curveball here?
I do not like a curveball to a right-hander.
That one's out toward left field. Revere on the run and reaches up and makes the catch. Just tall enough, athletic enough to reel it in. And the side is retired. No runs, 2 hits, and 2 men left. Middle of the 6th inning. The Phillies trail the Marlins by 1. Provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. And by Toyota. Where will Toyota take you? Visit buyatoyota.com to find out. Toyota, let's go places. Bottom of the 6th inning, Marlins lead the Phillies 3-2. It'll be Chase Utley, Carlos Ruiz, and Cody Ashe to face Dan Herron. Herron so far has struck out 7 through the first 5. He's allowed only 2 hits. The home run by Galvis and a single by Ryan Howard. So let's see if the Phils can get something going here in the bottom of the 6th. Utley has gone down twice looking. And Herron delivers a strike. It's 0-1. Matt, what is it that's making Dan Herron so difficult for the Phillies here tonight? You know, what's the biggest thing that he's doing?
the one thing, or there's a few things. I mean, he's mixing his pitches inside and outside extremely well. He is. I know we talk about adding and subtracting, but he is doing that very well tonight, especially with that cutter. And right there, you see a 76-mile-an-hour fastball. Then when he has you starting to lean outside, thinking he might come back with a backdoor cutter, he throws a cutter inside. So he really never ever doubles up on pitches. If he comes inside, he might come in with a fastball, or then he might come back in with a cutter.
So similar location, just different styles.
Yeah, I mean, he knows how to pitch. He's throwing, like you said earlier, he is throwing the kitchen sink. It doesn't matter what he wants to throw. He can throw them for strikes, and he's placed them very well.
Well, there you go. On the outside corner, it's 2-2 to Chase.
Now he's available to do whatever he wants right here. Backdoor cutter.
Off the mound, picked up on one hop by Echeverria. Well, they hit that one right on the nose. So one out here in the sixth inning. Carlos Ruiz is coming up. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
All right, Tom. Well, we talked about the struggles of the Miami Marlins so far this season. Just 3 wins to show for in the first 2 weeks. And this is a team that many people thought would compete for the division this entire season. Now, certainly that could still happen. It is early, but this is our Geico quote of the day from Giancarlo Stanton. We're not getting ourselves a chance right now, it feels like. We've got a positive vibe, but something is just not there. The fire is not there, it seems like. And, they're questioning whether or not the full effort has been there throughout the first 2 weeks of the season. Perhaps guys maybe reading the press clippings just a little bit, thinking that they're going to be a good team and maybe not going out and putting out the effort. But I would imagine, guys, as Carlos Ruiz flies out to right field, that when Stanton talks and says something along those lines, that the guys in the clubhouse are going to sit up and take notice, wouldn't you think?
You would think. The problem, they're going out playing with energy. They're just not executing right now. And now you have to look back at who they've faced. They just came across a very hot New York Mets team who had tremendous pitching. So it's not as if they're not out there playing with the heart. Yeah, they might have been caught up in the hype that they're going to walk away with the division, but they're going to be in. It's a wake-up call, put it that way. And when your $300 million man speaks up, a lot of guys are going to listen. You better listen.
Well, Mike Redmond, their managers, also spoke up. He said one of the big things, one of the real problems that the team has had is pitching. He said there is a real level of frustration when it comes to the pitching. We've got to get the pitching straightened out and get guys deeper into games.
Yeah, that has been a problem for them all season long. You guys threw the numbers out there. No one's going to fall in for a base hit. But also, Tom, I would say, you look at their lineup and the guys that you would expect to be hitting, the Stantons and Ozuna and Christian Yelich is not playing tonight. And those guys have not gotten on track yet this season. So both facets of the game right now for the Marlins are not clicking. But I got to believe that those guys are going to start to be the guys that we've come to expect over the years, and they're going to start to produce.
Yeah, see the starting pitchers numbers, 14th in the National League with an ERA of 5.23 coming into this ball game. I think offensively, if you're looking at them, I think that they have the potential to do something. Starting pitching wise, they're going to get Jose Fernandez back at some point. Can the other guys around him be a starting staff that can win a division? I don't know. That's my biggest question, is their pitching. Not their offense. It's their pitching. I don't know if they have enough pitching to compete with the Nationals or even the Mets. That one is hit well out to center field. Ozuna's going back to the wall, and it is gone! A home run for Ryan Howard into the bushes. His first of the year. And the Phillies retake the lead. It's a 4-3 ball game.
The good old Rowdy Murph strikes again. Have a little chat with Murph and see what happens. A lot of good things. I wasn't sure if this had the distance, had the height on it. But nice power. Nice to see him hit a home run to center field and just out of the reach.
I thought Ozuna was back there in plenty of time to time his jump. But it was just over his glove. Thankfully for the guys in the bullpen who were signaling home run. 0-1 to Grady Sizemore. And Sizemore hits it the opposite way. Ichiro ventures over toward the line. He's under it, and he makes the catch. Side is retired. The Phillies with two-run home runs here tonight. One by Freddie Galvis, and the other one just happened off the bat of Ryan Howard to center field. He got a pitch that was up, and he didn't miss it. Off the bat, he felt like it had a chance to get out. It wasn't until it went beyond the outstretched glove of Ozuna that everybody else thought it. Phillies have two-run home runs tonight. Freddie Galvis and Ryan Howard off Dan Herron, who has struck out 7 so far. Jerome Williams is done after 6 innings, 6 strikeouts. Jerome did a nice job. He allowed 2 earned runs during his 6 innings. So we'll go to the top of the 7th inning, and the Phillies on top 4-3. So Dan Herron's given up the long ball, which has been an issue for him so far this season. Jeff Francoeur will take over in right field, a double switch implemented by Ryan Sandberg. So Luis Garcia will bat in Grady Sizemore's spot. This is the 7th ball game for Garcia. 1-0 with an ERA of 0. So Francoeur will bat 9th. Donovan Solano will pinch hit for Dan Herron. Solano takes a strike. It's 0-1. All right, so a little different approach now. Garcia's going to throw that pitch there, but he's also going to throw a fastball 96, 97 miles an hour at times.
With a hard slider.
Well, there you go. 0-2. Two pitch. Got him. 3 straight breaking pitches, and Solano is retired for the first out. These lucky fans are today's Citizen 7. They were to receive a prize pack courtesy of Citizens Bank. Good banking is simple, clear, and personal, and that's helping you bank better. Citizens Bank. Garcia now to face D. Gordon. Fastball at the knees, 0-1.
It's amazing to watch the defensive alignment with D. Gordon hitting, how everyone's like 1 or 2 steps in on the infield, realizing how quick he is to run.
Absolutely. And he can bunt at any time. Shows bunt there. Boy, I really thought he offered at that. They appeal to the third base umpire, who says no.
You see Chase about 4 or 5 feet from the grass. Usually he's playing 1 or 2 steps back.
Foul ball, and it's 1-2. Over to first base, that's foul. Past Perry Hill. And it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. That's where it remains to D. Gordon. I think a lot of people were surprised. I don't know if you were, Matt, when D. Gordon was traded from the Dodgers. Just 26 years old. Dodgers loved the start that he had last year. They didn't like his on-base percentage at the finish.
Right.
Wound up hitting .289 overall. Was an all-star last year. That one's pulled toward the hole, and it's a base hit to right field. So he's aboard with 1 out. So 2 more hits tonight for Gordon. Time now for our Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Well, it comes back in the 4th inning. Ozuna hits a little flare over Chase Utley's left shoulder. He shows the ups right there. Times it nice. Very nice play right there. That's why that's a Hyundai defensive play of the game.
Brought to you by your local Hyundai dealers. All right, so Utley and Galvis have to be on their toes here with Gordon over at first. He's already been picked off once tonight. In a 1-run game, he's going to try to get into scoring position. Fastball, and it's on the inside corner. 0-1. Mike Dunn is warming in the pen for the Marlins. Dan Herron's night being done.
Outside the lead, he gets back that easy. Except for the first inning when he got picked off, just because Williams threw from an unbelievable angle. But really, it's 1 step and a dive back from him.
Kind of contorted his body too to avoid the tag. That ball's fouled off Ruiz. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Slider, you want to get that down in the zone, and it seems like Chooch takes more of those than a lot of catches we see.
Speaking of those balls off the mask, Brian Knight is back umpiring today. Major League umpire was hit the other day in the Phillies Nationals game. Runner went, then stopped. Ball is fouled to the right, and it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Good news to hear.
Yeah. So they checked him out for 24 hours, the off day yesterday, and then he was back out there today. One and 2 to Prado. Another throw over. By the way, you saw that hot dog vendor there. This is not only saluting Jackie Robinson, but it's also a Hatfield Philly Frank Dollar Dog Night. here in Philadelphia.
Be interesting to see if Gordon tries to steal second base. If Parada gets out, then you have Stanton on deck. You might put him on.
He might. That one is straight back just in front of us. And it remains 1 ball and 2 strikes. It's not an easy play. Ball is spinning every which way. He's still hearing it, though. Oh, somebody down below is happy.
That hit him right square in the middle of the hands.
Well, he was. I think he was impeded a little bit by the guy with the hat. You can blame it on him. Swing and a miss. He got him. Threw him a slider, and it was a nasty one. 2 strikeouts for Garcia. 2 away, and Stanton's coming up.
This was a very nice slider. Had a real late break on it. Parada kind of steps in the bucket right there. Last few pitches. Looks like he's stepping in the bucket to try to shoot the ball to right field.
Which is something that he's done a lot of his career.
Yes, he has.
Well, now that side of the field is wide open with Utley shaded toward the middle and Stanton up. Gordon's at first. Fastball outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Garcia kind of overthrew that one.
Yeah, and I wouldn't even worry about D. Gordon now at first base. I could not imagine him, unless they get 2 strikes, he might try to steal second base.
Pretty close. There's that little flinch that you were talking about during the outset of the telecast. Two balls and no strikes to Stanton. To the left side. Galvis has got it. He's going to go the short way to second in time to get D. Gordon. Side is retired. Another scoreless inning for Luis Garcia. Time to stretch here in Philadelphia. Freddie Galvis will lead it off when we return. See if the Phils can add to what they've already done. At 70 pages per minute, the HP printer is the preferred printer of the Philadelphia Phillies. The perfect addition to your starting lineup. And now 50% off. Get yours today. From who? But W.B. Mason. Mike Dunn 0-1, an ERA of 5.40, 7 strikeouts in 5 innings so far. Guy who's faced the Phillies an awful lot during his career. And he's on to face Freddie Galvis. Jeff Francoeur, don't forget, part of the double switch. And then Odubel Herrera.
Dunn did a very good fastball. We'll top out it with 95 miles an hour. See, like you said, Tom, we have seen him a lot over his career here.
It's been pretty durable. He first with the Braves, then with the Marlins. It's been pretty steady as a left-handed relief pitcher. Freddie Galvis has homered tonight. Off the hands, out of play, and it's 0-2. By the way, we talk about distances for home runs. The Stanton home run earlier, 453.
Yep.
Do you think that one went farther than Harper's the other day?
No, I thought Harper's went farther.
Harper's was listed at 452, and Howard's 416.
869 total feet today of home runs.
All right, well, Freddie Galvis.
Oh, yeah.
Don't forget, this is where your math skills are really going to be tested, Matt. 356 feet.
356.
Yeah, from home plate. No balls, 2 strikes to Galvis. Outside, 1-2.
That'd be 1,225 feet, Tom.
That's good math, Matt. I'm going to go with that.
Probably wrong.
I'm not even going to check it. Again, the opposite way, right past Juan Samuel. Broke his back, ground ball to third. Prado's up with it. Galvis is retired, 1 out. And that'll bring Jeff Francoeur to the plate. Time for the Major League Notebook. Murph.
All right, thanks a lot, Tom. Well, the Chicago Cubs have done it again, calling up a highly talented prospect, Addison Russell, today. Russell came to the Cubs, you'll remember, in that Jeff Samardzija trade. Just 21 years old. He started at second base tonight, batting at ninth, and at last check, did not have a hit. And not good news for the Milwaukee Brewers. They have lost their starting catcher, Jonathan Lucroy, with a broken toe. They expect 4 to 6 weeks he'll be out.
Murph,
as that ball is off the top of the wall. Jeff Francoeur. I'm having a night tonight, aren't I?
You are.
Well, let me tell you what happened to Jonathan Lucroy while we celebrate that double. He broke his toe. He got a foul tip off the toe, and it broke right in half, fractured all the way through. 4 to 6 weeks is the prognosis for him. It sounds extremely painful. He has to stay off it for at least 2 weeks, they said, and then they can see where they're at. But he's a big loss in the middle of the lineup, guys.
Yeah, they also lost Scooter Gennett the other day. He cut himself after the ball game. So that's,
in the shower.
Yeah, is that where it was?
Yeah.
I didn't know that part. I was going to say maybe making dinner or something.
No, I saw someone a note that he got cut himself in the shower.
Here's Odubel Herrera, and he takes outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Odubel's 0 for 3. Struck out, flied out, and popped out. Man, the whole break in your foot right in half, the toe right in half, boy, that sounds really painful.
By the way, the Russell kid from the Chicago Cubs.
Russell Addison.
0 for 3.
0 for 3. Well, he's a pretty special athlete. They say that he has the potential to be a Gold Glove shortstop. The fact that he's playing second base tells you what kind of an athlete he is, since they have Starlin Castro. All about the fanatic right here. Didn't work. 2 balls and 1 strike.
How about Bryant for the Cubs? 2 more RBIs hitting 417.
So much for the 0 for 3 to start his career. I should say 0 for 4 with 3 strikeouts. 2-1 pitch coming to Herrera. And he thought that was a little too far inside, but it's called a strike. 2-2. That one is sliced the opposite way. Oh, what a play by Echeverria. He gets up and throws to first, not in time. Francoeur on his way to third, and he'll get there. An incredible stop at shortstop. That'll be a base hit, and I would think an error to allow Francoeur to go to third base. That saved a run. That was an incredible play. Although maybe not, because Francoeur was going back towards second.
I mean, you can see the inside-out swing. Unbelievable play. Comes up. Makes a pretty good throw. Mike Morris couldn't come up. And very good base running, first of all. Realizing ball to your right, you freeze by Francoeur. And now all of a sudden he recognizes the ball gets loose. Kicks it into high gear and gets to third base. Now you have first and third with one out.
And Ben Revere is up. The infield is up.
Oh. Sorry.
I'm with you, man.
I don't think it comes any closer than this right here. But that's the proper way. Had to get the ball up and in. Turn away from it.
And a liner out toward right center field. That's going to split the gap. One run is in. Herrera's on his way to third. He'll be waved in. Revere going to third base. He'll get there easily. It's a 2-run triple. And the Phils lead it 6-3. That's the way to get back on your feet if you're a hitter.
That it is.
First triple of the year for Ben Revere.
Sometimes the little things have to wake you up. Well, getting a little chin music, now getting a fastball. Nice time and foot down. Last year he did extremely well hitting left-handers. Splitting the gap in the outfield. Watching Herrera run and Ben Revere run the bases right there was impressive.
Well, he's at third now with the infield in. Now, the other day, in a similar situation, Revere had a great secondary lead off third and was able to score in a hot shot to first. Ryan Sandberg could not speak any more highly of that base running the other day. Let's see if Revere can again get that secondary lead. No balls, one strike. And Utley slaps it the other way. It's 0-2, trying to make some contact here. He's been good in sacrifice fly situations. That's why he has 8 RBIs.
Yeah, one thing as a runner at third base when you're going on contact, I mentioned it on Sunday, do not worry about getting lined drive up at second base or anywhere in the infield because you're going on contact. Anything on the outfield, of course, you have time to react and go back to third base, maybe tag if you have time, but this right here is where if it backfires, this is where the managers say, you know what, I was telling everyone to go on contact. That's my decision.
Utley hooks it toward right field. Stanton over toward the line. It's deep enough to score. Revere. Stanton's got it. He'll let loose. And it's a sac fly for Chase Utley. It's 7-3 Phils. Nine RBIs for Utley.
Nice call, Tom, on your part, saying he's been very good this year with sac flies.
What's what really has saved his numbers this year.
Yep.
Well, this is a huge inning. The Phillies have scored 3 runs here in the 7th. And now Carlos Ruiz is the batter. Up high, 1 ball, no strikes. Phillies have had 3 crooked numbers tonight. One ball, 1 strike to Ruiz. Fly ball short left. And Ichiro comes trotting in. And the inning is over. But damage is done. The Phils score 3 runs here in the 7th inning. A 2-run triple by Ben Revere. A sac fly by Chase Utley. Ben Revere, when he gets going, it's hard to stop him. And once this ball went into the alley, 2 runs were able to score easily, and he was able to get to third. Great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. ShopNissan.com. Buy McDonald's. Any size hot or iced coffee is just $1. McDonald's. I'm loving it. Phillies now lead it 7-3 thanks to a 3-run 7th inning fueled by this swing and the legs of Revere and Herrera.
Well, and what I was so impressed was if you watch Revere get to first base, Herrera touches second base at the exact same time. Now, when Ben comes around to second base, Herrera's touching the exact same time at third. When Ben gets to third, Herrera's the exact same time at home plate, meaning they run the same speed.
I was going to say, who would win a foot race, though, if you put them up against each other?
I just thought it was so interesting watching, and that's why I enjoy watching these guys hit. And being a number 1, number 2 at the top of the lineup, that's what they can do is create havoc and run the bases.
Well, now Ken Giles, who is all warmed up, will come in to pitch the top of the 8th inning, and Giles will face Michael Morse to start things off. Morse is 1 for 3, couple strikeouts, a single, and he hits a rocket on 1 hop to Freddie Galvis, 1 out. Well, Mike Dunn was in there to try to keep it at a 1-run ball game, and the Phillies had another answer to that. Now Marcell Ozuna will be the batter. First pitch is a strike. It's 0-1. That is a fair ball down the left field line, and a fan has just interfered with it. And that allows Zuna to go to second base, although he probably would have gotten there anyway. So a ground rule double. And Ichiro, who was 2 for 3, will be the hitter. Ichiro's 2 hits give him 2,851 for his career. It's low, 1 ball and no strikes. Two and up. Giles kicking at the mound a little bit. Another one out toward left field. Revere on the run. It's going to slice back to him, and he makes the catch. There are 2 outs with a runner at second. Let's check in with Greg Murphy. Murph?
Well, Tom, you know, the way it's supposed to work is the Phils get a lead in the game, and then they get Kenny Giles into the game, and then Jonathan Papelbon in the back end. And if that happens, well, things have been pretty good for the Phillies over the last about a couple of months of last season and the beginning of this season. How about in 29 games, the two of them have appeared together in the 8th and the 9th, or just a little bit more than that. 25-4 the team is in those 29 games, a combined ERA of .059 when Giles and Papelbon are in the games together. So that's exactly the way they drew it up. You know, certainly the bullpen has been a strength for the Phillies for about a year now, and these 2 guys are a big reason why, no doubt about it.
Huge reason why. You figure the power the Phillies have had out of this bullpen has been huge, just to get the strikeouts when needed. And of course the saves if you're Papelbon. There's Pat. Getting himself ready for the game. We may not see him in tonight's ball game, but we'll see. The off day yesterday, he hasn't worked a whole lot. 2-0 pitch. Fly ball, shallow right field. Jeff Francoeur is under it, and the inning is over. So Ken Giles works around a 1-out double. We've played 7.5 on to the bottom of the 8th inning. The Phils on top by 4. the #1 app for live baseball. At Bat is up to the moment, at any moment, with in-game highlights, live look-ins, replay reviews, radio broadcasts, StatCast, and more. Get MLB.com At Bat for your smartphone or tablet. Phillies are on top 7-3. And Cody Ashley will lead it off. Nick Massett, who was just added to the roster today, is the new pitcher for the Marlins. He'll take over for Mike Dunn, who allowed 3 runs on 3 hits in just an inning of work. Dan Herron started. He allowed 4 runs on 2 two-run home runs. So here's Ashley, 1 for 3 with a run scored. First pitch off the mound. Boy, Echeverria has had a couple of guys played perfectly tonight. Well, here's Ryan Howard. Ryan Howard is bringing the lumber. Brought to you by Yellowwood Brand Pressure Treated Pine.
He brought the lumber all right back in the 6th inning of a towering home run. Decided to reach Ozuna and get #1 on the board.
Yeah, to start the year, we mentioned he came in with 43 plate appearances without a home run. Dating back to last year, 53 total plate appearances. Be nice if they started to come in bunches. 0-1.
Baby steps, Tom. Baby steps.
See Massett's numbers down in AAA. Out front, 0-2. And down on strikes, 3 pitches, and there are 2 outs. And Darren Ruff will pinch hit for Ken Giles. Which means Papelbon will come in. It won't be a safe situation, but as we said, the off day yesterday and the lack of work, he needs to get his arm in there. Ruff overall hitting 107 with a home run, 3 for 28. Well, it's been a good night for Ryan Sandberg's lineup. 7 runs on 7 hits. And some extra base hits, too. Out to right field. Stanton is there. He comes trotting in. And the short fly ball will be the final out here in the 8th inning. 1, 2, 3 go the Phils. We've completed 8. On to the 9th. The Phils are trying to seal the deal when we return. Gonzalez and Todd Zolecki to break down the Eagles' schedule, and for Zoe to talk about the Phillies-Marlins series. Watch Phillies Sports Talk presented by Comcast Business on Comcast Sportsnet. 7-3 Phillies on top. The NFL schedule has been released. Looks like the Eagles will be playing Thanksgiving Day again. They played the Cowboys this past year. Looks like they're going to be playing the Lions in Detroit. Here's Jonathan Papelbon, his 6th ball game. 4 strikeouts in 5 1/3 so far. This is not a save situation. He comes on with the Phillies up by 4. Charlie Manuel and even Bobby Cox used to say that a 4-run lead in this ballpark, in their minds, is a save situation.
I would agree.
It'll be Echeverria and then Reed Brignac. Played for the Phils last year for a short period of time. Echeverria is 1 for 3. Out front, 0-1.
I think it's safe to say that the Miami Marlins are very aggressive hitters after that first pitch. That's why you're seeing a lot of off-speed pitches throughout the game today.
Would you agree that that's been their reputation for years?
I would.
Even though the coaching staff is different, the players are different. And you remember back to the days of Dan Uggla playing second base for them. They would be swinging at the first pitch aggressively. And
it's younger players. They feel like they can hit everything.
No balls, 2 strikes to Echeverria. Got him. Went upstairs with a fastball. 1 out here in the 9th inning. And here is Reed Brignac to pinch hit.
It's a good no balls, 2 strikes, high fastball. Juice wanted it down, didn't matter. It was above the zone. Good pitch. Good pitch for a pitcher and a very hard pitch for a hitter to lay off of, especially with 2 strikes on you.
Brignac is 0 for 3 as a pinch hitter. He won a couple ball games for the Phils last year.
Home run and a double, if I believe.
Yeah, the double went off the base of the left field wall.
Xfinity.
It's not Matt Stairs' numbers, but he has 13 pinch hits for his career.
With the great Lenny Harris, who's the assistant hitting coach for the Marlins. That's all time right there.
1 ball, 1 strike. You guys should get a photo together.
We've had a chat for about 30 minutes today.
All-time home run leader as a pinch hitter and all-time pinch hit leader.
Ex-teammates.
Up high, 2-1. Every time the Phillies pitchers retire, the opposition 1-2-3. Comcast will make a contribution to Phillies charities. Phillies baseball is brought to you by Xfinity, the official entertainment provider of the Philadelphia Phillies. Got him. Foul tip, hung on to by Ruiz, 2 away. And D. Gordon is next up.
It's a nice pitch right here. It's a fork ball. Splitter coming on Brignac, and that is the 10th strikeout today. Picking right up where they left off in New York.
Yeah, 119 strikeouts now for the Marlins for the season.
The last 5 games have been averaging 10 strikeouts.
Boy, that's
per
remarkable.
Game.
D. Gordon has 2 hits tonight. He's been on base 3 times. 2 for 4. He reached on an error the other time.
And one of those home runs has been looking, and that's it. 9 swinging strikeouts.
One of the strikeouts.
Yep.
One ball, one strike. Reminder coming up after the ball game. Marlon Anderson will break down tonight's series opener between the Phillies and the Marlins. Only on Cure Auto Insurance presents Phillies post-game live. Marlon, I'm sure, will be talking about Ryan Howard and his home run. Darren Ruff came on to play first base for Howard here in the top of the 9th inning. And the 1-1 pitch. Over to shortstop. This should do it. Galvis is up with it. Throws to first in time. And the Phils have taken game 1 of this 3-game series by a final score of 7-3. And they used their extra base pop tonight. Couple of home runs. A triple by Ben Revere. It was nice to see the bats out and the bats swinging with runners in scoring position.
Well, it was. And today they came out and they had a very good game plan. They made some pitches that were up in the zone. Drove it out of the ballpark and came up with some clutch hits.
Ryan Howard is our Chevrolet player of the game. 2 for 3, 2 RBIs, 2 runs scored. He also mixed in a walk. Ben Revere had a nice night with his triple to the gap in right center field. Chase Utley had an RBI.